And for those of you on YouTube right here, you can probably see we have a special guest in the house. And this one's kind of special because it's not only a special guest, it's Papa 2K's.
Yeah.
We've got Troy Kahler in the studio. We're going to talk about some Marcellus high school basketball. We're going to jump into some of this stupid bullshit that's going on with Mookie Betts. And we're going to break down the Big Ten basketball season so far and kind of give you our predictions. But before we jump into that, I did want to say, for the YouTube crew, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. And for those of you on the audio side, go ahead wherever you download your podcast, give us a review, and we will read it on the air.
I think before we get started, too, we need to congratulate Papa 2Ks on winning our fantasy league this year.
Yes. Congratulations. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, the Kahler household kind of took us to the woodshed, for lack of better terms.
Well, he tried to offer me, to split the pot before we went into that, and I was like, my team's been dominating all year long. There ain't no chance I'm splitting this shit.
He's trying to be the nice guy.
And I should have split the pot.
But before we jump into actually the meat and potatoes of this episode, we're going to try something new. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, on the audio version, we're going to try something a little different. Going to give some special love to our YouTube crew, and after we're done with the audio portion, we're going to send you over to our YouTube page, and we're going to probably go for 15-20 minutes just to give some special love to our YouTube crew. So, all that aside, Mr. Troy Kahler, like Kyle always already said, the reigning Turbo and 2K's fantasy football champion.
All right, that sounds pretty good.
And we've kind of talked about for next year getting, I don't know, something to put in the studio so we can write names on, and so you'll be forever remembered as the inaugural Turbo and 2K's fantasy football champion.
All right, sounds good.
Well, that being aside, because I think we pumped your ego up just enough. Just enough. Why don't you kind of jump in and tell our listeners who you are? Because obviously we're going to talk Marcellus basketball. You're the head coach. You guys have had a hell of a season so far. So go ahead and jump in and introduce yourself.
Yeah, Coach Kahler, been coaching now for a little over 20 years. Been varsity coach on the boys' side for this is my 12th year. We're having a real nice season. Kind of got with the kids before the season started. I said, look up there at the banners, and I said, we haven't had a league champion in pretty near 20 years. I think that's definitely a goal we should look at. All the kids kind of jumped on that and rode with it, and that's kind of been, what we're shooting for this year.
It's very awesome. And you correct me if I'm wrong, but you have three players of the week so far, consecutively, right?
Yeah. We had Gavin started off. He had a week where he averaged 29 points a game.
Wow.
And then Kahler followed it up with a week where he averaged over 25 and over 13 rebounds a game.
Ooh.
He also had a game where he had 10 blocks also.
Yeah.
Damn. Boys are doing work.
Yeah, he's a pretty impressive kid. And then Gavin came back and had Player of the Week again last week. We got quite a group that follows us.
I was just going to say voting. That. Yeah. There's some
that's a good thing.
Yeah, not only are the boys kicking ass, but you can definitely tell that the community is behind you and your boys. And I looking at a couple of Franklin's posts on Friday that there was a packed house for homecoming, which there always should be.
Yeah.
But just looking at the list of all of these kids that, especially your two boys that are going up against. I mean, that's some very, very stiff competition.
Yeah. It was a packed house. Sometimes homecoming's a little difficult to play. A lot of other stuff going on. I don't know if kids are getting enough sleep sometimes, and other things that are on their minds and they're not really focused. But this group seems to focus up to whatever we got going that week. We've kind of had the mentality, like I told or asked Brady after the game. I said, what's Tuesday's game? White Pigeon. He goes, that's the most important game of the year, and that's the way it's kind of been. Whatever game's next is the most important game of the year. So we've been rolling with that.
That's very, very amazing for such young kids to have that kind of mentality. So
they love to play together. I mean, you can tell when a team is on the floor and they really get along and really like each other and like playing with each other. And this group is that. I mean, they really love to play together.
Awesome. So where do you guys stand record-wise?
Record-wise now we're 11-2. We're 10-1 in the league. We lost a heartbreaker in overtime to Centerville, and the people that were there, I mean, that was probably one of the best games that I've ever been a part of.
Awesome.
It had a little bit of everything. Had, them tying it up, us tying it up. We'd go ahead and, thought we had it in the bag with, the clock showed 0.9 seconds left. Some odd reason the ref found it within him to put 3 seconds back on the clock, so they ended up with a pretty good look. And they made the 3 to beat us by 1 in overtime. So,
but you guys made a half court shot, at the buzzer to send that game into overtime.
Yeah, Drake Srirac got the inbounds and really had to take it himself, and ended up getting a half court shot at the buzzer to put it into overtime. So, and they hit a 3-quarter shot to end the first quarter. I mean, it was
it was raining buckets.
There was shots all over the place that night.
So is your team more like upperclassmen, or is it a good mix?
It's a pretty good mix. I've got 4 seniors and 7 juniors. Kind of unusual that I don't have any, freshmen and sophomores at school our size. A lot of times over the last 10 years, I think we've always had a underclassman, a freshman or a sophomore on varsity, but this year it's all juniors and seniors.
All right, so there's definitely a good base to continue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This winning tradition, if you want to call it that, for at least the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so. For anybody that's seen us play, I mean, Kahler's not going to be a very easy kid to replace. He just does, like Kyle said, he had a game where he had over 10 blocks. I mean, block shots. He's had a double-double as far as scoring and rebounding in every game except for 1.
Wow.
And he's a kid that's played all 4 years on varsity.
Oh,
so, I mean, I can remember watching him as a freshman, and he didn't necessarily need to be the guy like he needs to be now, where he has to score the points, but he could play very good defense. He's just the way his first step is quicker than any high school player I've ever seen, but to see where he was at when he was a freshman in high school, to see where he's at now, he's come a long way. I mean, and he's one of the best players I've ever seen at Marcellus.
Awesome, and I mean that's a tip of the cap to you, Troy, coaching these kids, keeping them in line, and it sounds like they do a lot of that themselves.
Yeah, they're all wired different. He's just wired different than everybody else. He has great work ethic. And like Kyle said, that first step is just incredible. He can get by you in the first step, and he's at the rim. I had a lot of little kids. That's another thing. He's great with the little kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a role model to all those kids. And when we do junior pro, and whenever the kids are around, I know we got a couple water boys now that are.
Is it my nephew,
kids.
One of them?
Yeah.
Jacoby?
Yeah. And they have a great time, and they really look up to Kahler, and he's just great for them kids.
Awesome. So it sounds like not only is he good on the court, he's good off the court. So even better to see. So Troy, where I have a feeling I know I know the answer to the question, but where do you see this team going as far as tournament wise, conference wise, and beyond?
Well, conference wise, we need to come play every night. And so far, they've been able to focus on the next game. Mm-hmm. And I think there's no reason to believe that we're not going to continue to do that. I think we're the best team in the league. All these home games that we have against, some of the better teams in the league, with Hartford and Bloomingdale and Centerville, who got us the first time, and Cass, we got coming back home. So we'll be ready to play. I want to, and those guys, they've really set that goal of winning that league, and we want to win that outright. As far as the districts, got a tough district. We're still in Class C, and we're in with Schoolcraft and Hackett and Kalamazoo Christian, so we'll have our hands full there. But
so you and is Coach Small still at Schoolcraft?
Yeah.
So you and Coach Small could be squaring off, huh?
Yep.
That'd be an awesome game to see.
Yeah, they're loaded. They got a lot of size. They give us some definite matchup problems, but that's why you play the game.
Absolutely.
See what we can do.
Absolutely. Maybe we can get a little wager between you and Little Zed.
No, Adam's always up for that.
Oh yeah. So Troy, what? And I know this is going to be kind of a hard question to ask, but you said you have the we've already talked about the foundation you've built for the team and the program. Do you see continued success like this in 2021 and going on?
Yeah, I mean we got some kids that are going to have to really step up big time next year to replace like a Kahler. We also got Carson Sumners, who plays quite a bit. He's actually been starting lately. So we got some guys to replace. Zach Shelton will be graduating, and he's a 3-year player. But that junior class is definitely capable of that. I think there's a good core group of those kids that are going to put the time in to make themselves better and kind of be that guy.
Awesome. And I'm sure it's easier now that they've seen the juniors and younger kids have seen what it takes to do this.
Yeah.
That it'll be an easier idea and thought process. And,
sure.
It's kind of like you and I have talked about a pitcher going into like the Astros and seeing how Justin Verlander does his work.
Yeah.
So awesome. I need to get my lazy ass out and go see a game. I'll be the first one to admit that I haven't been to a game all year. I did work the concession stand, even though someone was fucking sick, or
I don't know who that would be.
Didn't want to spread sickness. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it wasn't even me that was really sick. It was my wife and then the kids, and everybody was sick. And I just was like, I would feel terrible if I somehow have this, and I'm going to transfer it at the concession stand, handing out popcorn and hot dogs,
coughing over nachos and shit. Yeah, I'm sure that'd have been great.
But it's kind of that way. You talk about, you need to get to a game. It seems like every time we play a home game, I see another 3 or 4 people that haven't been there in a few years. And homecoming tends to bring people out.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, when you're successful and you got a good season going, a lot of times they come out of the woodwork and come up to see you play.
Which is good because, let's be honest, our football program's been down compared to, like, when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, because, yes, I'm that old, we actually marched to the old football field for home games. And that every home game, that place was packed.
Yeah.
And there was more of a community support behind it. So it makes my heart happy that people are coming out and packing the gym and giving these boys the following they deserve. So I'm putting it on myself within the next week, 2 weeks to make it out to a game. And I want to challenge all of the 2K crew, if you haven't, do it as well.